On a night Hassan Whiteside said he's not a doctor, the Heat might need him to become one. Hi, I'm Ira Winderman from SunSentinel.com with an all-too-familiar Miami Heat story. There simply were not enough bodies in the loss to the New York Knicks that dropped them to 2-8 at home. 5 players will not be traveling on the 3-game road trip that begins Wednesday night against the Atlanta Hawks, and you could see in the loss to New York, almost all were needed. Points, they became difficult after the early stages, especially three-pointers. Wayne Ellington, the lone Heat player to make more than one in the game. That's where someone like a Josh Richardson really would have come in handy. Defense, it became a major issue. There was no Carmelo Anthony stopper. He went for 35 points, the most against the Heat this season. That's where Justice Winslow, that's where James Johnson would have come in handy. And offense late when they had to turn to other players, when Goran Dragic had a shoulder stinger, that's where Dion Waiters might have come in handy. He's not available. So what happens now? Well, what happens now is what happened at the end of the game on Tuesday. The Heat leave with only a 9-player rotation. To put it into perspective, the NBA requires you dress at least 8 players. The Heat will be one above the minimum when they play Atlanta on Wednesday, Cleveland on Friday, Chicago on Saturday. Yes, they'll be going against Dwight Howard, LeBron James, and Dwayne Wade with far less than what they projected. For now, it's a matter of trying to hold it together. Goran Dragic, he scored his season high for the Heat. Actually, his all-time high as a member of the Heat with his 29 points against the Knicks. Hassan Whiteside got another double-double, and even Josh McRoberts went his season high in rebounding. What it tells you is there's simply not enough right now. And that's the problem. You're trying to get the young players to grow with the program, players like Tyler Johnson, players like Hassan Whiteside. And yet frustration clearly is in the air. The good news, the Heat have been better on the road than at home this season, 5-6. So maybe there's hope in Atlanta, hope in Cleveland, hope in Chicago, and maybe hope that those teams will rest their players against what's become one of the worst teams now in the Eastern Conference. With that, so it begins. This is their lone stretch this season of 4 games and 5 nights. And based on this roster, it couldn't have come at a worse time. But at least I'll be out there starting Wednesday night in Atlanta to bring it all to you. For SunSentinel.com, I'm Ira Winderman.